Well, very good evening to you at the racecourse grounds. We are now joined by a very distinguished rugby of Sri Lanka Rugby group captain. Nalin De Silva joins us. Good evening to you, and thank you very much for sparing some time with us.
Good evening. Good evening, all of you.
Well, Group Captain Nalin De Silva, of course, started his rugby at Isipatana College, as you know, one of the biggest schools when it comes to rugby in Sri Lanka. Played from 1971 to 74, captained in 74 as well. Any memories of that?
Well, I captained the biggest part over there was, I will never forget, I captained with 14 freshers, and we won all the matches except for Royal, where we lost to Royal one point, that's all. It was such a, with the 14 freshers, such a bunch of energetic crowd. I'm so glad to mention that.
There you go, that's wonderful to hear. Then, since then, from 1974, went on to play rugby at the Sri Lanka Air Force for a long time, 74 to 95, around 21 years. Captained the Air Force team as well. That would have been a long career playing rugby at the Air Force, isn't it, Group Captain Nalin?
From the time that I was asked to join the Air Force by, I'm so grateful to me, Air Vice Marshal Harry Gunathilaka. That is the father of AVM, now the Marshal of the Fleet, Roshan Gunathilaka. I'm so grateful to him. He walked away because we were playing a match against British schoolboys in 1974. I scored 2 tries in that. He walked into the dressing room and requested me to join the Air Force. That's how the whole thing began. Then it was my passion. I really enjoy rugby throughout my career. Whatever. Now I'm 65, but still I play rugby, and I really enjoy. Really enjoy.
Air Force in those years would have been a very strong team as well. I'm sure you played for 21 years. Some of those years they certainly dominated Sri Lankan rugby at certain times.
One of the memories that I have is where we won the Clifford Cup for the first time in history of Air Force, way back in, if I'm not mistaken, in 86. That was the day that during on that particular year itself, I represented the Hong Kong Sevens, and we won the Bowl Cup. So I will never forget 1986.
1986 was a good year. If I'm correct, you went on to play for Sri Lanka, captain Sri Lanka as well in that 86. There was a couple of years, I think, was one of the best years for Sri Lankan rugby, isn't it? You mentioned the Hong Kong Sevens, that victorious team. Some of them still talk about it, and I'm sure those feats are hard to achieve.
Absolutely. The team that represented Sri Lanka was amazing. I still, to name a few, Chandrashan Perra, Saman Jayasinghe, Nalin De Silva, CPP Abhigunodana, Chula Dharmasena, lot of, and Rohan Tapiris, super players. We never gave up. 27 teams on the Hong Kong National Stadium, full of crowd, and we managed to win the Bowl Cup. That was a memorable occasion. I really enjoyed that.
After your playing days as a player, you have been a lot involved in administration. You have been the General Secretary of Sri Lankan Rugby, involved with the development side of Sri Lanka Rugby as well. Are you still involved? How was that experience from a player to administrator?
Well, I always encourage young guys to take up to administration no soon they finish their career in the whatever the playing periods. So the administration part I was handling. I was the development chairman, the general secretary on 2 occasions for the main rugby union. Now with that experience that I am now in the main Olympics committee as in the education sector, as an expert on educating young youth or young crowd on Olympism. So I really enjoyed that now. At this particular moment, I've been doing this for the last 35 years. I conduct lectures. I really enjoy Olympism.
Going back to those golden eras of the 80s, 86, the standard of rugby then, the standard of rugby now, what is the differences that you could come up with, and what would you tell our young players to achieve those feats, to achieve those glories, to win those trophies? What do they have to do to get there?
Well, Very simple. I'm not going to compare the era that we were playing as well as now. It's a complete two different types of things. What I could say is, say for instance, when you talk about skill, I still remember line outs. If you take line outs, I practice 100 times. I go onto the bar, goalpost bar. It is 10 feet in height. I jump 100 times every day without a coach. I assume because those days, unlike today, now you lift the jumper who is going to play, the skill is not involved. Whereas those days you have to coordinate with the hooker who is throwing the ball to jump and get it. So skill, what I will advise is, number one, you have to master the skills of rugby. Nowadays I can't see, very hardly you see dummy scissor, a nice sort of a punt. Very hardly you see. That shows lack of skills, But the basics, if you can master, you can really enjoy rugby. Absolutely.
There you go. A few words of wisdom from a group captain, Nalin De Silva. The Asian Rugby Sevens happening over the weekend. I'm sure you're looking forward to it. I'm sure we will see you at the racecourse grounds.
I thought of staying tonight and wait till the whole thing starts tomorrow. I mean, the great thing. I'm so grateful to the Asian Rugby Union from bringing it here, because as I always say, there are 130,000 kids who play rugby in Sri Lanka, right? It's much more popular than cricket in Sri Lanka as far as schools rugby is concerned. So these youngsters can learn a lot from these players who are professionals, who are playing here. So I'm grateful to them, and even the parents who are coming with the kids. They always, they can really enjoy. It will be like a carnival tomorrow and a day after tomorrow. I'm sure we always. I'm thankful to the Asian Rugby Union for bringing it here. All professionals coming here. We can really watch and learn a lot from them. Thank you so much.
There you go. On behalf of all of us, behalf of Sri Lankan Rugby, thank you so much for your time and for joining us in this discussion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all, for all of you. Thank you.